I think I'm gonna switch back to controller. Just fucking I do not like it.
Kai wins.
I'm gonna switch back to controller. Hello everyone, my name's Dagari, and today I'm going to be doing a fighting stick tutorial. There are a ton of controllers out there, and it's kind of hard to figure out which one's going to be suited for you. I started using fighting sticks about 2 weeks ago, and I've drastically improved. And that's the way you want to look at it. You don't want to look at it as how many games you're losing, because I've had times where I would lose 20 games in a row, and I would keep rematching just to try to figure out what I'm doing wrong and trying to get used to the controls. And that is really the best way to do it. I think that the biggest mistake you can make while using a fighting stick and learning is comparing yourself to when you're using a controller. You know, when you say things like, oh, if I had a controller, I for sure could have won that. That's not really helpful to developing the muscle memory and also the mental aspect of using a fighting stick. Assuming you've been using a controller your entire life and you haven't been using an arcade stick, you would understand that however many years you've been playing games on a controller, you're not going to instantly snap to be an arcade stick god. Once you realize that, that's going to help your growth using an arcade stick a lot. You got to realize that you're trash, and then you can improve from there. You're not going to be instantly, Sonic Fox, top tier, fucking shitting on everyone. That's not how it works. My first tip is going to be to rematch. I know you're probably going to be upset that you're losing and probably thinking, fuck, I could do so much better on a controller or something like that. But if you keep rematching, you're going to get the muscle memory you need a lot faster. Not only that, but you're going to be able to react to situations in a certain way. If you go into a training mode and hit a dummy, the best thing you're going to get out of it is, hey, now I know how to press these buttons. But the most crucial part is when to press the buttons. You don't want to sit there and be a reactive player all the time, unless that's the matchup, of course. But you also want to just get the muscle memory to know when this guy's jumping, I want to do this, not when this guy's standing there not blocking and not attacking, this is what I'm going to do. Because that's silly. You need the experience in order for you to grow as a player, but also get better on the arcade stick. My second tip is to learn with a new character. Now, you may have one character that you want to play, and that's fine. But for me, when I was playing with the character that I was using with a controller, I just kept getting frustrated over and over again because I couldn't do the same things. I picked Zato. I've never once played a puppet character. I've never once played a character like him at all. He's got a completely different archetype to anything that I knew. And I think that this character is what actually helped me a lot more than anything else. Because it's a completely new experience. I have nothing to compare it to. So that way, when I was playing him, it was just, I'm just playing a new character. I didn't know the buttons. I didn't know a damn thing about him. And I think if you do this, you would have a lot better of a chance to learn how to play an arcade stick without being frustrated. Because you have no expectations. You're going into this blind. And for tip number 3, I want to talk about reflection. When you're using a stick, you want to reflect on your actions. What buttons are you pressing? What specials are you doing? What specials can't you do? The motions you're using. Try to get a feel for it. You want to feel out the motion every time that you do it. And that way your brain can remember, this is how it feels to do a DP. This is how it feels to do a super. And you want to just take like just a second to think about the buttons you're pressing and how they interact with everything else. You don't need to take like 20 minutes and fucking meditate or something, but just a little time, just to, maybe in between matches, just think about it. You don't want to have the mindset of thinking about your losses. That comes after you learned how to use an arcade stick. So for my tip number 4, I want to talk about button mapping. It really does not matter what your buttons are mapped to. No professional button mapping system is going to make you a fucking gigabrain player. You need to figure it out on your own. You need to figure out what feels good, and that's what you're going to want to go with. When you start button mapping, the first thing you got to realize is you're going to be pressing these buttons. Nobody else is going to be pressing these buttons. You're not going to be pressing the same buttons as somebody else. If you want to put your dust next to your pick and put your heavy slash all the way into the top corner of your arcade stick, go for it. You're going to be pressing those buttons. Your brain is going to remember where those buttons are when you press them over and over again. And no matter how you have it set up, it's going to feel normal eventually. There's no professional way to set up button mapping on your controller that's going to give you a competitive advantage. It's all about learning where those buttons are and just the muscle memory. I see a lot of people saying that fighting sticks may not be for you. I don't think that's true. I think with everything else, you can learn to do whatever you want to do. We're not limited to certain controllers or certain things because we can't do it. No, we just have to learn how to do it. Fucking do it. Just get in there and figure it out. And you're gonna suck. Everyone sucks. You're not gonna be fucking good. Just get out there and learn how to do it. There's nothing wrong with playing on a controller. A lot of professionals prefer controllers. There's a lot of Evo winners that play on controller, and that's totally fine. But to say the excuse that, oh, you can't do it, is just an excuse. You can do it. Anyone can do it. There's no limit to what we can do. Thank you everyone for watching my guide. I'm pretty new to this. A little nerve wracking, but I kind of have fun doing this. I want to do a lot more tutorials and maybe some match analysis, maybe some commentating. I got some work to do for sure. But please give me any advice in the comment section. Anything at all to help me improve my video making as well as anything that I say. I just want to improve and get better, just like anyone can with an arcade stick.